My name is Shon. I've been certified as a yoga instructor since April of 2012, and today we're going to be doing some yoga. So let's start at the tops of our mats. Raising our arms up to the ceiling. Let's inhale big.
We get up there early.
Bring our arms down to our sides, dropping in front of us. Let's come to a forward fold. Remembering that it's okay to have a bend in our knees. We really want to focus on having a long, tall back. So if it helps, you can bend your knees, fall forward, and then extend your legs. In every pose today, let's really focus on breathing deep, making sure that we hold on to that 5-count breath. So from here, let's walk our hands side to side. You should be feeling a slight stretch in your lower back. From here, let's plant our hands, coming down to hands and knees. We're going to move into cat and cow. So we're going to reach our shoulders up towards the ceiling, tucking our tailbones in towards our chin. We want to exhale as we create less space, and inhale. We lift our heads up and our tailbones up towards the ceiling as we create space.
One more round, and then you are done, my dear.
From here, we're going to do some warm-ups. So we'll move either to sunbird, just foot straight up, or you can just do one leg out, or opposite, straight out. If you do up towards the ceiling, you really want to focus on reaching your heel and the bottom of your foot towards the ceiling. You should feel your hamstring pulling a little tighter. From here, we have the option of bringing our knee in towards our opposite elbow, and we can either hold or we can flow between pushing out and coming in, exhaling as we come in, inhaling as we come out. From here, let's plant again. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you have the option of just doing spinal balance where you stay here. Or you can move into sunbird pose, reaching our heels up towards the ceiling. If you'd like, you can flow. Always remembering to breathe. The stronger we can stay in our core here, the more balance we'll have. From here, let's plant our hand and knee again, and we'll push back into a child's pose. So pushing forward, reaching our hands out. We want to feel an extension in our lats or just by our shoulder blades. If you'd like, you can widen your stance with your knees, creating a little bit more space. Always remembering to breathe, even in these tight, constricted areas. Here we have the option of walking our hands side to side, getting a stretch in our side body. When you're ready, we'll come back up to all fours. We're going to step forward with our right foot, planting it between our hands. And then from here, we have a couple options. You can either sit your bone back towards your heel, feeling an extension in your hamstring and calf, depending on where you're more tight. And then you have the option of coming forward. And we always want to focus on keeping our knee directly above our ankle. So when we come forward, if we find ourselves here, we're going to walk that foot a little farther forward so that we're directly above. Then if we sit up, we'll feel a stretch along our hip flexor. So you have the option of staying in one or the other, if one feels better, flowing between the two. So from here we have a couple options. You can curl your toes under and extend your heel all the way back towards the wall, so we're in that low runner's lunge. If you'd like to stay here, that's fine. If you'd like to go a little farther, you can bring your arm up onto your knee, coming all the way up. Come into just a regular lunge. You have the option of bringing hands to heart center, hands straight out. If they're straight up, you'll find the most difficulty. Again, you always have the option of dropping to a knee if you're feeling too much strain.
30 seconds left.
We're going to bring your hands all the way forward. Then we're going to step forward with that other foot, coming back into a forward fold. Maybe reaching a little bit deeper than the last time.
Go. Then you're done.
Remember, yoga is not about competition, or judgment, or expectations. It's not about who can reach the farthest towards the ground. It's about just reaching what feels good for us today.
One and you're done.
We're going to come all the way up, pushing hands towards the ceiling. Bring your hands down to heart center. Let's take a breath or two and wake up.
Literally.
From here, we'll come into our first chair pose. So what we first want to do is make sure we have a good support with our feet. We want to have them about hip distance apart. We really want to feel that top ridge from the ball of our big toe out towards our pinky across the ground, as well as our heel. If we can push all those points into the ground, then we'll have the most balance. So from here, we'll drop down into a chair pose. And again, just like every other pose, we want to focus on our knee being above our ankle and our backs being as long and straight as possible. We have a couple options of having hands at heart center, where you can reach them out for more difficulty. Remember to feel free with every pose, that you have the option of coming out of the pose at any time. We're going to come all the way forward, planting hands on the ground. And from here, we're going to step our right foot back. Now, the runner's lunge, dropping to a knee. We're going to do the same stretch on this side that we just barely did. So we're going to flatten that back foot, pushing back, sitting towards the back wall. Feel a stretch in this area. Then again, we have the option of sitting, either the hip flexor or the hamstring stretch, or flowing between the two.
Don't want it for me. Maybe go see tomorrow. Okay, go home. Let me know your schedule this coming week. You work Thursday, Friday?
If we don't feel like we're getting a deep enough stretch on our hip flexor, we can always plant our hands, walk our foot a little farther forward, then we're shifting our upper body up towards the ceiling, reaching our heads up tall. That's when we'll feel the deepest stretch here. So from here, we're going to curl our right toes underneath us. And we're going to reach our back heel towards the wall, extending our leg fully. Remembering that it's okay to stay here if we'd like. We want to find a good stance. You can always come up to a lunge from here. Feeling free to drop to a knee. If you're feeling too much strain, you have your hands up, heart center, or straight out. Let's bring our hands all the way forward, plant them on the ground, then we're going to step forward from that forward fold. From here, taking in a deep breath, we're going to come up to a monkey pose, which is halfway, having hands on shins or knees. We're going to have a flat back. We're going to come all the way back down. And then all the way up. Bring hands back down to heart center. So from here, we're going to come back into chair pose. Except this time, we're going to add a twist to it. Feel comfortable with that? If not, feel free to stay wherever you are comfortable. So again, we want to make sure we have a flat back. We can be reaching out, hands at heart center. Staying here for a breath or two. If you'd like more of a challenge, you can always come up onto the balls of your toes. From here, we're going to come into a twisting chair. So we're going to turn towards our left first. And we always have a tendency to jut one knee out farther than the other. So we really want to focus on our knees being in line with one another. Turning to the side, then we're going to tilt forward, dropping that elbow onto that knee. If you feel like that's too much of a stretch, you can always bring your hand to here, resting on your knee. Your opposite arm. If you'd like more of a stretch, you can extend your arms fully, reaching up towards the ceiling and the ground. From here, we're going to come back to forward fold. Taking a breath, and then reaching up halfway to monkey. Coming all the way down. All the way back up, reaching tall towards the ceiling. Like you can pedal your heels. Bringing our hands back to heart center. We're going to do a twisting chair on the opposite side. So we're going to come down in the chair for a breath or two. Feeling strong and rooted. Twist towards our right, tilting forward. We're going to rest our left elbow on our right knee. Remember to bring awareness to our knees, making sure that one is not shooting out farther than the other. Here we're going to release, bringing your hands to the floor. Then we're going to drop to our knees.
And I'll just kind of tell you what you want on
And we'll move to our first vinyasa from here, which means flow. So we're going to curl our toes under, pushing our heels back towards the wall. Let's extend our legs, lifting our hips up towards the ceiling. We really want to focus on pushing forward with our hands to keep the weight out of our wrists. Imagine if you could rip your mat in half. Remembering to always keep the focus on our breath.